I think there will
I,
be like a welcoming things first
yeah,
from,
sure.
there will be few videos and then welcoming, and then after that you, because you will take longer, we expect you will take a longer period to enlightening us all about the needs to building youth resilience,
Okay.
uh, democracy
And we
as
go
we,
on till what time? Instead till 5 or
are you kind of like really need to go somewhere quickly, or then we
no,
can
not immediately. I just want to know a bit the time. I should have
yeah.
seen in the program. I think about 2 hours. No.
Yes, this is 2 hours programs,
Yeah.
and then I guess you will be around in the 30 minutes after it start. Then it's gonna be you, and then the rest is maybe another speakers.
Okay.
All right. Thank you so much, by the way, for your pleasure accompanying today with you.
Right. Thank you.
Okay, then I guess starting from now, we're going
Hi
to
there.
live online, online to Facebook.
Hi there.
Okay.
Hi there.
Just for informations, we're going to record these conversations as well as
Okay.
we're going to live streaming now in social media. Thank you so much.
Very good to do. Hi there.
Okay.
Okay, we'll
I
go
would
ahead
say.
and start now that we have the streaming going. Thank you, everyone, for making time to join us for the launching of the Asia Democracy Academy. My name is Sue. I'm the program manager here, and I'll be taking you through the launching today. So we'll go ahead. I'm going to uh, introduce to you our new initiative. We wanted to create a easily accessible democracy education program to really cultivate the next generation of democracy advocates. And we've been working hard with a team as well as experts across the region who are democracy experts to create this academy program, and we wanted to go ahead and uh, exhibit it to you. So to go ahead and start, I'll just kind of show you the origins of the program. We'll open the ceremony with a short video.
Sustainable development in developing countries. While blended finance has grown rapidly, its development impact is very less. Besides, blended finance has largely bypassed the least developed
Over many generations, we have fought for democracy. For decades, the movement has worked to sustain and build people's resilience to continue to defend democracy, ensure people's freedoms, and the respect for human rights. At present, the movement is faced with grave threat with the rise of populist authoritarians and continuously shrinking civic space. We call the youth all over the world to rise to the challenge and continue the movement. As democracy advocates, it is vital to enhance our strategy and skills to face the current regress in democracy and human rights in the world. In order to have a chance in this fight to push back on democracy regress, we must cultivate and prepare the next generation of democracy advocates. In this preparation of the next generation, democracy and human rights education is vital, utilizing a curriculum that teaches essential human rights and democracy-related knowledge. ADN will aim to reach and connect youth from all different sectors and aspects of society, as they will be the frontline guards to enhancing people's resilience and defending democracy together. The ADN presents the Asia Democracy Academy 2020, preparing the next generation of democracy advocates.
Okay, great. Thank you for that. Hmm. Well, now that was my intro music to let you all know that I'm coming back. So I will now give the floor to the Secretary General of the Asia Democracy Network, Mr. Itar Supriyadi, to give us some opening remarks. Itar?
Thank you, Sue, for the introductions and starting this small and very humble events, the launch of Asia Democracy Academy. I think today we gather here to celebrate something that's a long-standing initiative that we try to carry in order to expedite or enrich the youth advocacy. So the Democracy Academy is initiated by the Asia Democracy Network in cooperations with network organizations, academics, practitioners from interdisciplinary knowledge of democracy and human rights in the regions. This academy is an attempt to contribute and complementing the existing democratic educational programs that presents or runs by different institutions at the moment. As we see it, there is a large need of such activities, especially in this current regressions of democracy. We realize to sustain and prolong the democracy promotions, it is necessary and become our duty to nurture the youth. The ADN seriously invests and places it as a focus activity. This is the first step of academy will be in the form of combinations, online and offline learnings about democratic knowledge with the specific emphasis to Asia regions. The curriculum structures in several modules which include multi-sectoral topics related to democracy, such as election, global citizens on education and democracy, anti-corruption, media and democracy, women, peace and security, and then interconnected to the Sustainable Development Goal. And pack of modules of public participation to start democracy promotion and defending democracy. This is a small effort that's coming together as a request by the youths that has been nurtured by ADN since its establishment back to 2013 when we formulating ADN during the Peru World Movement for Democracy. I think this is a time for us to harvesting the young, the youths, the students in different sectors. The next step for this program is to bring the curriculum accessible for the user, who are the youths, young activists and students at national level, by provided deeper and wider to the multi-sectoral society. And I guess I shall thanks for the resource person who are joining us today. His Excellency Jose Ramos Horta, the former President and Prime Minister of the Republic Democratic of Timor-Leste, who very keen to accompany all of us and share his keynote speech, the importance of how youth resilience can play significant roles in maintaining democracy in the current future. Of course, the chairs of ADN, John Samuel, who will joining us very soon, and then three fantastic women who will share their thoughts, Miss Urna, Miss Bawana, and also Miss Yu. That three representing different democratic challenges in different area. And then I also thanks the cooperation of academics, practitioners, and experts who had gave their best to structure the curriculum that will be displayed in this video. And then finally, I welcome further cooperation from the academic communities, NGO members, partners, and other like-minded state agency to join the programs. So welcome again to the launch of Democracy Academy. And over to you, Sue.
Thank you, Ichar. So I think Ichar gave a very good background of why this came to be. And, you know, the Asia Democracy Network as a regional organization really works to consolidate democracy efforts and try to create a coordinated advocacy all across. And we really wanted to create a action to make sure that we as Asia create our own narrative of democracy. And the start of that, we realize, is a democracy education program, and which is the reason why we developed this. And we have now the next speaker, Mr. John Samuel. He's the chair of the Asia Democracy Network. John, are you ready to take the floor?
Yes, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, all friends, Ichal, and all colleagues of Asia Democracy Network. As you know that one of the major tasks of Asia Democracy Network is to build the capacity of young people and others to engage in democratic governance and democratic polity in different parts of Asia. With that vision, the School of Democracy has come out with an initiative to strengthen the capacity of youth leaders, civil society actors, and others to engage with the democratic institutions and the process in the country, and also in each country, and also to expand the scope of democracy. We are living at a time when democratic values of human rights, freedom, and justice are being undermined differently in different parts of Asian countries. And the pandemic of COVID has exacerbated the situation. So we are in the midst of a public health challenge, a challenge to the democratic governance, and an unprecedented challenge to human rights in institutions and processes. It is in this context, Asia Democracy Network is launching this very important initiative. We have planned this for the last couple of years. Lots of consultations have gone into it. When we have now a full-fledged curriculum, we hope in these difficult times, it is more than ever required to increase our effort and investment in building solidarity at the national level and at the international level. Solidarity for peace, solidarity for freedom, solidarity for human rights, and solidarity for justice. The second aspect is democracy as a system of government only survive in a democratic society. A democratization of society involves gender equality and gender justice. And as we know, in the Sustainable Development Goal, goal number 16 is an enabling conditions for rights and justice, etc., is an enabling conditions for sustainable development. So with this, I just wanted to indicate that it is important for more than ever for all of us as the members of Asia Democracy Network to work together and to strengthen the effort of Asia Democracy Network and this particular flagship initiative of Asia Democracy Network, School of Democracy and a curriculum for capacity building of young people and civil society activists across Asia in the area of this. In these times, we have both an opportunity and a challenge. Opportunity means we have more than ever technology that connects us across the world, and also much more cost-effective means to engage with each other with the less carbon effect. Challenge is sometimes, whatever we meeting online is not a substitute to face-to-face meeting. So I hope we'll be able to take it forward. I hope we'll be able to work together. And I want to congratulate the Asia Democracy Network Secretariat members and the Secretary General Ichal and Sue and all the colleagues at the Secretariat, as well as colleagues who worked on this curriculum. So with that hope, I myself am ready to commit and ready to work with you to take this initiative forward. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, John. I can't express enough that we would not be able to do this without the support from you and our governing council members. So next, we'll see a series of videos from the authors who were involved in the writing of this academy. And really, this was a regional effort. We were able to get contributions and assistance from academics, civil society members, and experts who've been doing democracy education for many, many years. So this was definitely a regional effort and would not have been possible without them. And just wanted to, unfortunately, they were not able to join us today, but they wanted to send us their message through video.
Hi, I'm Mike Hayes from the Institute for Human Rights and Peace Studies at Mahidol University, and I'd like to congratulate the Asian Democracy Network on the launch of their Democracy Academy and Democracy curriculum. I was involved in the early stages of drafting the curriculum and doing some deep inputs later on to the workbook. And it's good to see it's going to finally come to light at the end of this month. Particularly, it's very relevant at this time because you know that right now, as of last night, the night before, and probably tonight, we have student and youth-led demonstrations in Thailand asking for democracy. The youth in Thailand have felt that for too long their voices haven't been recognised. They're concerned about their education system doesn't recognise or doesn't teach the principles of democracy. And it's the youth nowadays who are very kind of keen and kind of interested, and they want to have more democracy. So having a workbook like this is quite timely. It also shows that in this period where it's been a bit depressing, like the number of populist leaders and the shrinking of civil society and the face of civil society, it has been quite a depressing time for human rights. But we can see that with these youth demonstrations, like in Thailand, which was also following on from demonstrations in Hong Kong, there's kind of the youth leading the charge against that. And so any kind of support that can help them, any kind of contribution like this one from Asian Democracy Network is going to be useful. So congratulations, and I'm glad to see the launch of the project.
Hi, my name is Adnan. I'm the coordinator of Indonesia Corruption Watch, an anti-corruption NGO based in Jakarta, Indonesia. Congratulations to ADN and the team that has successfully made a great democracy learning video for young people. Young people need to learn about democracy because they are the future leaders of the nation. I certainly realize that the need for complete democratic learning materials becomes more relevant in today's declining democratic situation. In Indonesia, for example, the tendency for declining quality of democracy can be seen from the practices of the weakening of the anti-corruption body that has so far successfully shown a concrete action against corruption. In addition, the various regulations that have been enacted have only strengthened the grip of the oligarchy groups on various strategic economic sectors, including natural resources. At the same time, the weakening of the role of the free and independent journalists, the increasing number of the criminalization against the critical voice of citizens, and the use of forces, both by state apparatus and by vigilante groups, have taken their place. To me, democracy is the best system to ensure that the use of government power can be controlled and therefore can reduce corruption. Hopefully, young people in Asia can use this learning video to improve their knowledge and their skill, and eventually will become a group of people who are actively fighting for our democracy.
Congratulate for Asian Democracy Network, filling the vacuum for introducing the online course for democracy. Thanks for inviting to share our thought on very special moment. Democracy is challenged by many ways currently. Undemocratic leaders, undemocratic laws, or not space for civil engagement to protect democratic values. This is what we are experiencing in Asia. If you look at the countries like Thailand, Cambodia, Philippines, or Bangladesh, the space for democracy is shrinking in many ways. Look at Thailand, what's going on right now? Even no space for peaceful protest. Government response is to the protest, peaceful protest are the arresting the people and enforcing laws to undermine the peaceful acts. In addition, current global pandemic also benefited for undermining the democratic values, such as postponed on elections. Even there they have elections, there's no equal level playing field. With all very much needed young generation to vigilance what's going on, as well as that their response to change the societies or the bring back the democracy. In this regards, ADN democracy education will hopefully contribute for develop future democratic leaders. Thus, we are thankful for ADN for organizing this education program, and we hope that the younger generation be more active in future. On behalf of ANFL, all the success for the program. Good luck.
Hi, friends and colleagues. I am very happy to give congratulatory remarks. The consciousness raising of the people can change the world. So, I would like to emphasize the importance of democratic citizenship education, which consisted of the knowledge, the critical thinking, and the practice of democracy. I wish Democracy Academy could contribute greatly to the development of democracy advocates and human rights defenders in Asia. There is no success without hardship. We shall overcome in the end. Thank you. Solidarity.
I am delighted that the Asia Democracy Network, ADN, has come up with this new course on democracy for the next generation human rights defenders. I was part of that course development team, and it was an extremely rewarding experience. I think that this course will be very useful for the young activists and future human rights defenders. I wish good luck to Asia Democracy Network.
I would like to extend my heartiest congratulations to the team of Asia Democracy Network on the launch of the Democracy Academy. I am proud to be part of this project together with an excellent list of contributors coming from different backgrounds and expertise in Asia. These efforts comes timely in this challenging period where the democracy in this region is tested. Congratulations once again to each member of the team on this fantastic effort, and I believe with this manual, we are one step forward to nurture the future generation of democracy advocates.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. From the Secretariat of the Asian Muslim Action Network in Jakarta, I would like to congratulate to the launch of the Democracy Academy 2020 by Asia Democracy Network. In particular, I would like to appreciate the inclusion of the agenda by involving the two important issues that I've been concerned. Number one is about women, peace and security, and number two is about preventing violent extremism. Democracy and human rights are fundamental pillar when we talk about women, peace and security, as well as we're talking about preventing violent extremism. So once again, congratulations. Hopefully you can gain a lot of success in the future. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Hello everyone. I would like to congratulate Asia Democracy Network for the launch of Democracy Academy in Asia. It is a very timely and a very useful academy that many people will benefit from it, particularly right now in Asia where human rights principle values are being piloted and being abused. At Universitas Gadjah Mada, we will be useful or benefit from this academy. Many tools, many modules that the academy produce will be benefit or will be used by our students. Particularly for my own personal interest, this module or the academy will be very useful for my own research. Once again, congratulations Asia Democracy Network for this academy. And I wish you the best. Thank you.
On behalf of INSID, I would like to express my highly appreciation and congratulations to ADN who has produced Democracy Academy tools. I wish it will be more accessible, it will be more updated. And I believe this tool will be supportive, will be instrumental to the defense of human rights and democracy in Asia, in Southeast Asia, as well as in the world. So again, I would like to express my congratulations for ADN for the product and wish you success in your all endeavor. Thank you so much.
Great, thank you. You could see how the range of expertise from different thematic sectors and from how diverse the course development team were. And we really could not have made it this far without them. I thank them for making time to congratulate us on this launch. I will now call on our keynote speaker. How appropriate to have a champion of democracy of Asia, the former president and prime minister of the Republic of Democratic of Timor-Leste, His Excellency Jose Ramos Horta. I give you the floor to give us keynote remarks.
Thank you. Can you hear me?
Yes.
God, where I am?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Good afternoon to all of you. I'm addressing you from my home. My home is in Delhi, but it's almost like in the field. So don't be surprised if you hear a loud goat with a very ugly voice. Time to time he shouts from somewhere here. And raining coming, and it will hit very hard on the roof, so you might not listen properly to me. So it's a pleasure, a privilege to be invited to join you on the launching of the Asia Democracy Network, Democracy Academy 2020. It is a platform of learning democracy and human rights that comes very timely as we are faced with great challenges to our basic freedoms in Asia and across the world. It's not only in Asia, but in Europe and the United States. Look at the charade of the politics in the United States by the most irresponsible president of the biggest superpower, Donald Trump. But the United States also illustrate the incredible integrity, power of the judiciary, of the media, civil society. So I'm very impressed, and because it's not all gloomy. You know, people in the United States have just elected a great human being, President-elect Biden, and he has chosen a great team, some of whom I know. And across Europe also, people are resisting the extreme right. And in Asia, we have very vibrant civil society all across Asia. So I never look at things too gloomy, too pessimistically, and because truth, principle, justice, sooner or later always triumph. And we know that through history. Along the way, there are setbacks, but then in different countries, people rise up, people fight, and autocracies, dictatorships fall. Building the next generation of democracy advocate is extremely important for the consolidation and sustaining democracy in our region. Last month, October 20, the University of Cambridge Centre for the Future of Democracy in UK published a report assessing the level of people's satisfaction with democracy. This covered 154 countries over several decades. The report finds that last year, 2019, had the highest level of democratic discontent since 1995 globally. Many other reports also show that the public confidence in democracy has been declining for years around the world. But according to the University of Cambridge report, Asia is the exception. It points out that whether among the emerging democracies of Southeast Asia, the developed democracies of Northeast Asia, or in the world's longest established major developing democracy, India, satisfaction with democratic governance in the East seems higher than in other parts of the world. On average, almost 2/3 of Asians are satisfied with the performance of democracy in their country, compared to just 2/5 of individuals elsewhere. Well, that's from Oxford, Cambridge report, but I do not necessarily agree with that, because it could actually show a very disturbing aspect to it, that Asians do not expect too much of democracy, or the expectations is so low that, God, are people happy with democracy in India, in Bangladesh, and throughout Southeast Asia, in the Philippines? Well, if the Cambridge report say 2/3 of Asians are satisfied, I'm a bit worried when I look at against the background that we're talking about regression of democracy in Asia. So maybe Europeans are far more demanding of their politicians. Europeans are much more critical of the shortcomings, of the failures of democracy, of deliverables by so-called Western democracies than Asians. So I haven't read the full report of Cambridge, but knowing the political landscape in all of Asia, I'm a bit surprised. And my interpretation is actually in the negative. Of course, there are enormous obstacles to achieve. There are incredible challenges still in Asia, extreme poverty. If I'm not mistaken, half of the world poverty are in Asia. And although Asia has the highest number of liquidity, of wealth, and yet we still have hundreds of millions of people who live in slums, in extreme poverty. We still have child labor and child slavery very much across Asia. Kailash Satyarthi, Nobel Peace Prize, 2014, good friend of mine. I work with him almost daily basis on child slavery. And it's rampant in Asia, particularly in South Asia, in Africa and Latin America. Because we cannot talk about democracy, about elected politicians, about parliaments, and we cannot measure success or not of the democratic governance, and then forget about extreme poverty, about the lack of access to clean water, sanitation, and forget about child slavery, child labor. In this regard, Asia cannot be too proud of. In this regard, when I hear about Asia, 21st century is the Asia century, well, I think it's pipe dream, or we haven't defined exactly what a century should be all about. When we have a proliferation of nuclear powers in Asia, far more than in Europe. In Europe, we have two nuclear powers, United States, France and the UK, and they are not pointing nuclear weapons at each other. In Asia, you have India, you have Pakistan. Pakistan points nuclear weapons at India. India points nuclear weapons at Pakistan and China. Then you have North Korea that point nuclear weapons at everybody. And then we have, of course, China. China probably nuclear weapons pointing at China, at India, and at United States. And then in the middle of all of this, huge standing armies, millions and millions standing armies in Asia. We have extreme poverty still, particularly in South Asia, millions without access to clean water. And that's why I'm totally skeptical with the Cambridge report that 2/3 in Asia are happy with the state of democracy in Asia. I don't know where Cambridge report, where the people doing the Cambridge report, they spend their time doing the report. Did they actually go to the field or they wrote it from fancy hotels or out of Cambridge itself? So enough with this diatribe on my part, my apologies. I try to be very frank with you people. I'm not here to make a politically correct speech. And I want to also refer to COVID. I have written about it. I wrote for Wall Street International Magazine. I wrote for Newsweek. And I have joined with Muhammad Yunus, Nobel Peace Prize from Bangladesh, and all other Nobel laureates. I have joined with former presidents to deal with the consequences of COVID and economic catastrophe. And there are many aspects to it. One is the vaccine. I would hope that Asia, which aspired to be called this 21st century Asia, that by now we would have the leaders across Asia, not only governments, but civil society leaders, universities in Asia, foundations in Asia, big corporations in Asia, mastering the trillions of dollars in liquidity that Asia has, mastering the scientists, that yes, Asia doesn't have to wait for United States or Europe. Asia could have produced the vaccine by now, and Asia could have said, we are going to make this vaccine free for all third world countries. We will sell to Europe, we will sell to United States, but for the rest of the world, it is free. But we haven't heard that from Asia. We haven't heard from Asian leaders, we haven't heard from Asian foundations, Asian universities, Asian private sector, the banks. I would have loved to see 1,000 Asian banks, 1,000 Asian foundations, 1,000 Asian corporations, 1,000 Asian scientists, and other personalities get together. This to say, this is Asia's roadmap to fight not only COVID, but dengue, malaria, to fight extreme poverty, to bring clean water, sanitation to all of Asia. Then, yes, it will be the Asia Renaissance. It will be the 21st century Asia. And the last, but not least, as you know, I was primarily involved with the struggle for independence of Timor-Leste, but even in the course of our struggle for independence, dominated by it, I never forgot other struggles in Asia for democracy, like in the Philippines. I first met Ninoy Aquino in New York in the 80s, when once he went to Columbia University to speak. I heard about he was going to speak there. I was in New York at that time. I went very early to Columbia University to grab a front row seat. And I heard him when he finished speaking. He mentioned East Timor in his speech. I was so happy because at the time, hardly anyone would mention Timor-Leste. So I immediately rushed to him and greet him, and he received me very warmly. So, and we saw Philippines transition from a dictatorship, Marcos, to democracy. And then we saw South Korea transition to democracy. We have seen setbacks. And then we saw the great Indonesia transformation in '98 with the fall of Suharto. So my point is to say, in spite of all the negatives, and there are, all the imperfections of democracy, and my own country, Timor-Leste, is a perfect example of an imperfect democracy. But at least we in Timor-Leste, we don't kill anyone for having different ideas. There is not a single person since independence went to jail for his or her ideas, or for abusing and insulting the president or the prime minister or whoever. Not a single media has been journalists put in prison for whatever reason. So in that regard, we still honoring the core international instruments of human rights, which we signed on day one of independence in 2002. However, democracies are what they are. They are so far the best, with all its surprises, with all its frustrations, like we see around the world, including my own country. When some young people, I speak all the time to young people. I just came from a university giving a lecture to several hundred students. And there were some people complaining, frustrated about our democracy. Well, I said, the best probably democracy is the North Korea one, and because it's flawless. You have only one candidate, you don't have 5, 10, and totally predictable because you know who is going to be elected. And then usually 98% vote for Kim Jong-un. Then they do a recount, and it end up 100% because he ordered a 2% kill or in prison. So, and so in spite of the imperfections, in spite of the shortcomings, no one has invented yet. But that's what I think the Academy has to do, will do. Help forming the best Democrats in the years to come, so the democracy actually deliver to the people. If it doesn't, then we happen the phenomena in the United States with Donald Trump, with 75 million Americans still voted for that character. And then you have the demagogues in Europe, particularly Eastern Europe, but also in France, in the UK, in the UK. So a huge task for you, Asia Democracy Network, a huge task for the Asia Academy. I hope that in 10 years from now, we will evaluate and the Asia Democracy Network can say, yes, we have produced the best Democrats, the best leaders in all of Asia. If you have failed in 10 years from now, I will vote to close down the Academy. I'm sorry, that's joking. Thank you and God bless you all.
Thank you, President Horta. Thank you for really reminding us, despite the struggles and challenges we face, that there is still hope. And who better to really remind us of that, really the symbol in the region of a democracy advocate. And thank you always for showing your leadership and supporting us in this important initiative. Now we have also invited speakers from across Asia who have in their own capacity been working on democracy education on the national level. And we thought it would be very important to invite them and share with them this launch, as well as hear from them on their own experiences of conducting their own respective democracy education programs, as well as hear from them on their insight and views. So first, we will invite Miss In-Rae Ryu. She's the director of the May 18th Foundation based in Gwangju, Republic of Korea. We've been a long-term partner with Gwangju, and we're very happy to have Director Yu. I'll give you the floor. Thank you. Oh, you're on mute.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, good. Hello, I'm In-Rae Ryu, Director at the International Affairs Department of the May 18 Memorial Foundation in Gwangju, South Korea. It is my great honor to speak to you today. Thank you for your invitation. And congratulations on the launch of the Asia Democracy Academy. At this time, when we need to assemble every strength to revive democracy and boost human rights. Education has long been considered as the surest foundation for the growth of individuals and countries, and as the most valued investment in many societies. No wonder many countries have education as a basic right and responsibility of parents. In Korea, pretty much every success story has tales of sacrifice of family members for education. And thanks largely to such a social environment, Korea has the lowest illiteracy rate in the whole world, almost zero. What is then the democracy and the human rights literacy in Korea here? In 2019, South Korea's Human Freedom Index ranking by the Cato Institute was 27. It was the last year's. And that of human rights by the Global Economy was 37. And that of democracy by the Economist Intelligence Unit was 23 in the whole world. Compared to the literacy rate, these numbers are not very encouraging. And of course, they are solely Korea, but I don't think Korea is an isolated case. So let's look into democracy and the human rights literacy. As literacy had an absolute value for advancement of society in the past, I believe so does democracy and the human rights today, when most countries are run in capitalist systems. What is then the relation between the governing system and the democracy and the human rights and its education? Governments make decisions every day that affect everyone. And business bodies hire specially trained people under the name of lobbyists to promote their own interests. As a result, politicians, the media, the academics, even think tanks and pressure groups are under their influence, of course, at different degrees. Pretty much no one is absolutely free of this lobbying power, and this has often a negative impact on people's everyday life. International IDEA, an independent research institute, recently announced that, quote, the greater the influence of money in politics, the less influence the average citizen has, unquote, and identified the influence of money as one of the greatest threats to democracy. What can we do then when we, the majority of common people, have far less money than the rich? Well, they've got money, we have people. What do we do then with people? Education. So we common people should learn political skills and how to organize, not to only counteract, but to make the first move. Either enable us to know how the system works and how to influence the decisions that affect our lives, and how to equip ourselves with the ability to use our rights and freedoms. The world will then get closer to the idea that humanity has long dreamed of. And this is, I believe, what the ADN is intending to achieve by launching Asia Democracy Academy. And this is exactly what the May 18 Memorial Foundation has done since 2004 through the May 18 Academy. Its curriculum combines theoretic lectures and field training. During the last 16 years, the May 18 Academy has dealt pressing human rights issues and has trained 324 young activists from over 50 countries. After completing the courses, they have played vibrant roles as leaders of democracy and human rights in their own countries and regions. Through them, people are informed and become engaged as active citizens. And I believe that these young leaders enhance the welfare of humanity to a substantial degree. Is education then a cure-all solution to above-mentioned problems? Maybe not. Recently, I have closely watched a presidential election in a country, I think you know what country, which is by many considered as the oldest, even maybe the strongest democracy. But what I saw there was how fragile democracy could be in front of a mass of people who are armed with specific convictions, which can be dangerous when lacking critical thinking. While witnessing truth distortion, slanders, deliberate data misuse, bigotry, chauvinism, violence, and more, I thought there is a long and thorny way to go in implementing democracy. And now, I think I know you know it too, but you are still ADN determined to take this initiative in education. And the promising thing is that you are not alone. There are many of us, some big, some small, some old, some new, but all for the same goals: to enhance and strengthen democracy and human rights. Here, if we work individually and separately, the outcome will be maybe marginal. But if we work together, we can gather up enough power to facilitate democracy and human rights. I personally, and on behalf of the May 18 Memorial Foundation, again, give the ADN big plaudits for its audacious initiative in democracy and human rights education. As stated in the Bible, though I'm not a Christian, quote, "Your beginnings will seem humble, so prosperous will your future be," unquote. I wish this is the path of the ADN's new education program. Now, I would like to end my speech by quoting Eleanor Roosevelt, the wife of the American President Franklin Roosevelt. She was also a political figure, diplomat, and an activist. Her words are very simple, but always inspirational, telling us where we should begin. Quote, "Where, after all, do universal human rights begin? In small places, close to home, so close and so small that they cannot be seen on any map of the world. Yet they are the words of the individual person, the neighborhood he lives in, the school or college he attends, the factory, farm, or office where he works. Such are the places every man, woman, and child seeks equal justice, equal opportunity, equal dignity without discrimination. Unless these rights have meaning there, they have little meaning anywhere. Without concerted citizen action to uphold them close to home, we shall look in vain for progress in the larger world, unquote. Once again, congratulations on the launch of your educational program. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Director Yu, for making time to give us your speech. And I can't emphasize enough how important of a partner May 18th Foundation is to ADN. May 18th Memorial Foundation plays a very critical role in memorializing the May 18th uprising that happened in Gwangju in 1980, and really carrying on that spirit of democracy in Korea. And through their various educational programs, really carrying on that spirit. And we have a lot to learn from them, and we hope to continue our partnership and look forward to that. Thank you again. Next, I will go ahead and invite another one of our strong partners. We have Ms. Bhawana Bhatta from Nepal, representing the NGO Federation of Nepal. Bhawana?
Yes, thank you. Thank you so. Thank you very much. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, the dear guest, trainee of this Asia Democracy Academy, and the team of organizing committee, Ichal, and the president of the ADN, and all the friends at ADN. Good afternoon. I'm delighted to be here today at the opening of Asia Democracy Academy. Thank you so much for having me here. First of all, I would like to congratulate all the participants who are taking this course for the first time, and also the ADN who is really, doing great job, which is very necessary in this context. I know the course is very intensive because I know ADN since its establishment. I have also taken some of the activities of ADN, especially related with human rights, democracy, and also sustainable development goal. So the course is very intensive. If the participants or trainee took very seriously, and it is like a university, after 3 weeks of online course, you will definitely be the championer of democracy. I can assure of that. NGO Federation of Nepal is a national network having about 8,000 NGOs in the country. We are basically working on human rights, democracy, and sustainable development goals, not only in the country but also in the region. We are also the member of ADN, ADA, GCAP, Civicus, and many more, IFE, many more, because I am telling in abbreviation so that the trainee will have chance to go through it during your 3 weeks online course. You will definitely be able to know about all networks who are working on democracy, human rights, and sustainable development in the region as well as in the international level in the world. So uh, uh, if you we also got to know that there are 3 component together designed for, and which are very much independent, which are very much interrelated, which are very much interconnected: human rights, democracy and sustainable development. I hope after this session, all of the participants will be able to lobby and advocate and also make other people educate, other people engage, and other people empower on the topic. If we talk about the situation of democracy in the Asia Pacific, that youth are not represented adequately in formal process, formal political process, formal political institutions, and processes such as parliamentarians, political parties, elections, and public administrations. Similarly, voter turnout among 18 to 25 years old continues to be lower than other age groups, and youth are very unlikely to join political parties. And people under 35 are rarely found in formal political leadership positions. Young women are even more excluded. The average age of parliamentarians in the world is 53, whereas 50 years old for women parliamentarian. This is the situation. So the all young people need to be proactive to protest to the promotion, protection of human rights and democracy in the one country and in the region. We, NGO Federation Nepal, also had a Kathmandu Democracy Forum this month in 4 to 6 November 2020, where we have shared the status report, especially on COVID-19 pandemic and the democracy situation of 13 countries of Asia, and also the situation of SDGs. We found that most of the countries, the right to peaceful assembly is restricted. Basic rights are violated. Non-transparency in especially information and fund is there. Extraordinary power conferred to police, if you see India and other countries. And press freedom, press media is curtailed. The case of Cambodia and other countries are also there, India also there. And if you talk about Thailand, lack of people participation in decision making is there. Government has used many laws to restrict political movement. And young people, they were using social media to share their voice, but Facebook was also banned. So there is no way to raise voice related with democracy and human rights in the country as well as in the nation. So I must say that having having an experience of working on democracy about 1.5 decades, I must say that democracy activism is not a finish off. It is an ongoing process. So every generation should have such kind of people in the nation, so that we can carry on. So if we see about the democracy, you can just remember the Nepal or panel. We talk democracy if there is participations of people from all all region or all religion or all gender. It is very essential to have a participation if we talk about democracy. If we talk about democracy, there should be the accountability and also the non-discrimination. The policies, the program should be equal, and the equality is necessary. Similarly, all the approaches or processes should link with the development and human rights. So if you wanted to remember democracy in a short form is Nepal or panel. If you remember that way, it will be easier. So I have heard many challenges from Asia Pacific people or friends who are working on democracy is also the issues of security. So we have to have basic rights, basic human rights, or basic knowledge about how to safeguard ourselves, how to protect first ourselves. Many peoples are jailed, many peoples are arrested in the name of various system in the country. So young people, they are only utilized, they are only manipulated, they are only used, because whenever they are protest, young people are in front, but whenever the decision making should be there, then it is forgotten. The young people are forgotten from the decision making people, or from the leader. So that's why I really congratulate to the ADN, who is creating such platform where young people can talk, can share, can learn things about human rights, democracy, and sustainable development goals, and they work for the protection and promotion of human rights in the country, and the freedom of association, freedom of expression, and the voting rights, election process, everything. So thank you so much, Adrian, for this initiation. I'm sure that the course is very intensive. After the 3 weeks, all the participants will really be the championer of democracy in the Asia region. So welcome you all in a group. Having said this, I would like to conclude my small speech or short speech by the quotes of Kofi Annan. He told that education is a human right with immense power to transform. On its foundation rest the cornerstones of freedom, democracy, and sustainable human development. So ADN is started to educate the people, especially in human rights, democracy, and SDGs. And after the education, hopefully all the young people who take this course will engage, and also will be able to empower to other people. So thank you so much for this initiation, and thank you so much for having me here. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, Bawana, and definitely thank you for reminding us that you're right. There is not enough space for youth in the decision-making process when most of the times a lot of the movements for the challenges and struggles to democracy and human rights are led by the youth. And we really hope through this academy we could empower and give the skills to young people to be more involved and, force their way into the decision-making process in respective countries across Asia. So our last speaker is Ms. Urnas Gambosuren. She's the chair of the Center for Human Rights and Development, Mongolia. She was not able to attend today, but she did send us a couple of minutes ago her video speech. So I'll go ahead and turn on that video speech and share that with you all. Bear with me a few minutes, please.
Greetings from Mongolia. My name is Orun Soch. I work for the Center for Human Rights and Development, which is the NGO working in Mongolia. I congratulate you all with launching of the Asia Democracy Academy. I'm very thankful to the organizers for this wonderful initiative. Indeed, this is a wonderful initiative, and I'm very thankful everyone who took for this initiative. I'm sure it's very important and timely event. I'm confident that it will make an important contribution to the strengthening democracy in Asia. Today, Asian countries need to fight hard to develop and restore democracies. Knowledge, strategies, international and regional unity based on research and experience tailored to the specific context of each country are critical to making this struggle reality. Today's society is very unequal. Many studies show that inequality is deepening. Such inequality raises the questions of how real is democracy. If democracy was real, society would not be so unequal. Otherwise, if democracy is real, it would pursue effective, comprehensive policies to reduce inequality. Democracies in our countries are at different levels. In my home country, in Mongolia, it's on the path of democracy since 1990s. It's past 30 years, a long time, whole generation life. What we have done so far is to establish the basic institutions of democracy. We have many political parties, we have democratic elections, we have parliament, which have elected members, and the parliament approves policies and laws. Important parliamentary bodies also have been established to oversee the government activities, such as the National Audit Office, Anti-Corruption Agency, the Statistics Office, and the National Human Rights Commission, to oversee the state budget, investment, public procurement, the performance, and human rights situation. In addition, many laws and regulations have been adopted to provide people with access to information, participation, and justice. Within the framework of democracy since 1990s, about 25% of almost all 500 new laws have created legal environment in which citizens have the right to know, to participate, to complain, to associate, to control the state, and to claim public interests. But these are not enough. Not enough for democracy's real implementation. Mongolians continue to witness a lack of guaranteed democracy and human rights by the Constitution and international human standards. One example is poverty. If democracy and human rights have been implemented, social inequality hasn't been deepened, and policies, decisions, budgets, and finances should have been progressed in eradicating poverty. For instance, Mongolia implemented the MDGs, initiated and implemented the additional 9th MDG goal on anti-corruption, which deals with human rights and democracy. Unfortunately, the MDGs have failed to meet the goals of poverty reduction, gender equality, and environmental sustainability, which are the most related to corruption cases. Mongolia is currently implementing Agenda 2030. However, the adoption of national SDG targets and indicators for SDGs implementation has been very slow. For making democracy real, the awareness of all citizens, especially young people, about human rights and democracy and their willingness to fight for it are very important, as well as their motivation in solidarity building. In a democratic country, regardless of family income, a child should have equal access to quality education and medical care from early age. In a democratic country, equal opportunity should be open to every young woman and man to get a good professional education and a decent job. Unfortunately, Mongolia hasn't progressed substantively for providing these opportunities equally to all children or to all young people. The questions arise then, why the established democratic institutions and the adopted participatory democratic laws have failed to provide equal opportunities to every child or to every young person. How do those democratic institutions work? Are the parliament, political parties, and elections, for example, democratic? In fact, the answer is that these organizations are not democratic. Political parties depend on money to win elections. Therefore, the candidates for elections are people with money. The elected members in the parliament are also people with money. The democratic institutions established are run by people with money and for money as well. In other words, our democratic institutions have become organizations of people with money. In this, it has lost its democratic nature. I think that the next important goal is making democracy is real is to focus on making these institutions representing interests of all population groups organized under political parties with clear concept for democratic development which benefits all, leaving no one behind. This is my personal opinion about Mongolian democracy. So there is a lot to do for democracy. Of course, if everyone works for democracy, nothing will fail. Mankind's future in sustainable development depend entirely on how democracy is strengthened and progressed. Therefore, I wish the Asian Democracy Academy, all of you, all the best in leading the people successfully in the struggle for real democracy. Thank you very much, and I wish everything very best. Greetings from Mongolia.
Okay, great. Thank you, Uruna, for making time for us, even though you were not able to join us. And she is also the direct chair of the Forum Asia based in Bangkok. So now we had a very great list of speakers, and we got to hear from some of the authors. I think you're all kind of curious on how this platform actually looks like. So we will finally introduce that to you. We have project lead, Mr. Abhay Luthra. He'll be presenting on the background of the Asia Democracy Academy and kind of introducing the platform to you all. So Abhay, I hand the floor to you.
Thank you so much, Sue. Once again, welcome everybody, and hope you democratic we are launching today. Am I clear enough? Okay, so the reason, I will not try to reiterate why we have come up with this course. We have heard the speakers and the contributors for the need, and His Excellency also emphasized on the need of democracy education. So I'll straight away jump right into the course content itself. So the course, the way it has been designed, the uniqueness of this course is that it is sort of a repository or an encyclopedia where democracy education is available under a single platform. It is an evolving platform, and we have sort of made it into a two-pronged approach where there is an open track and a hybrid track. It is accessible to all, anybody, anywhere, anytime in this world can access this course. It is free for all. There is no charge for it. The approach that we have used in this course was primarily keeping it in, as you heard the contributors, it is an interdisciplinary approach towards democracy and all the other themes that are directly or indirectly linked towards democracy, but keeping a focus on the Asian narrative, on the region itself. And we have primarily designed this course to the targets, that is the youth, to develop the next generation of democracy advocates, individual advocates, CSOs, or anybody else who would like to join, understand, learn, or just to get to an idea of what democracy education is all about, can go on the website and log in. So not keeping you too far from it, I will go ahead and show you how the Democracy Academy page looks like and how can you access it. To access the course, you have to go on the ADN website. On the ADN website, you have the Democracy Academy tab. Once you go on the tab, you will be able to go to the sign up page. When you click the sign up page, can you see this page, guys? So when you click the sign up page, it will take you to our online platform that is designed, that is the Asia Democracy Academy. You will have to click on the sign up. It'll ask you for a few details. You will have to enter that. It will give you a registration. And once you do the registration, once you sign in to the platform, you will reach to this page. Now, this is where the Democracy Academy course begins. It has 5 modules, as you can see on the left. And as and when you complete a task, it will ask you for things that are relevant at the time. So the whole approach of this course is as I said, it's a two-pronged approach. One is the open track, where anybody can access this at their own free will. They do not have to ask our permission. They just sign up, do the course at their own free will, and get the knowledge that there is. The second is the hybrid track, where it is a self-study, plus we will be having expert discussions and facilitation for a select number of participants, where we will be doing the course over a period of 4 weeks. So these two ways we are trying to launch this, and as it is still going to be a pilot, we are looking forward for any feedback or anything that will help to improve upon this platform that we have just launched today. So I guess this is all from my side, guys. And anybody has any questions, they can just go to our website and send us a feedback on it. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Abhay. That was pretty simple, easy enough to follow. And I hope everyone, could spread the word, tell everyone around you about this great program. You could sign up. And just as this is an evolving process for us. This Academy platform will continuously grow, and we will continuously make it better. And we can't do that without your input. Please go and try it out. If you have suggestions or any comments that you want to let us know to better improve the platform, we're very open to your comments. And unfortunately, we were not able to take questions and answers, but if you have any, please feel free to contact us at adn@adnasia.org through email. And our website is www.adnasia.org, and you could access all this content. Yeah, so thank you for bearing with us for over an hour and a half. We're able to close a little bit early. We thank all the guests who came and participated. We thank all the speakers who made time from their precious schedule to be with us and walking with us through this journey of this launch. And we hope to continue our networking to kind of evolve this academy together. This is not only an ADN project. We really want this to be an Asia regional project where we all give input and work on it together as a region to provide the best democracy education to everybody. And our long-term goal, we're hoping that we could get this translated into different languages so that it's more easily accessible. And we hope that you could help us along the way with that. So thank you. I'll go ahead and close. I thank the media team who's been working behind the scenes to make this very smooth. And thank you, Abhay, for working endless hours on this great project, and congratulations on the launch. And we hope to see everybody soon. Thank you.
Thank you.
I think although it's closed, people are still here.
I know.
That's good. But just like unofficial things, I've got feedback for a promotion, Khan, that maybe can operate in Pakistan to extending, to translating.
Okay.
And then we can make cooperation. Let's communicate bilaterally.
Okay.
Mr. Khan from Youth Advocate. All right, then we have to close. Bye bye.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
For the crew.
Bye.
Trudin, Konita, Nixigo.
Turn off the live.
Yeah, and turn off the live. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye.